Hey everybody, welcome to Goose's Wrestling Pod. I am your host, Ray Goots, and we are guilty as charged. That's right, me and Kyle Lewis. We're guilty as charged of now covering the year 1999. The final year of the 90s. It's going to be the longest year of the 90s. And the end is upon us in terms of what wrestling was since the 80s. The last 2 years of ECW starts right now. Um, it all ends exactly 2 years from when guilty is charged. We've got a
Mm.
lot to talk about with ECW. Obviously, we're gonna have a lot to talk about WCW, WWF, all the other fun things going on in the year 1999. But before we get to 1999, first of all, Kyle, how are you?
I'm good. I looked up the Dave Matthews Band guilty song "Guilty as Charged," or it's called "I Did It." I didn't know if it came out first or after this interview. I mean, after the first "Guilty as Charged," it came out second. For anyone who cares,
Oh man,
I
that's
don't even
terrible.
like them, but I know this song.
Yeah, no, Dave Matthews. I remember when they were the shit, and now like I feel like nobody talks about them. But
Yeah, no, you had to be, when you were a teenager or in college, barefoot, hacky sacking on grass and shit.
yeah,
All that
yeah.
good
Totally.
stuff.
So yeah, before we get into that though, this year reminds me a lot of 1999. And what I mean by that is that we are seeing a ton of title changes left and right, which I think are good because when you get another tribal chief Roman Reigns run like we had in 2021, it means more if everybody else is playing hot potato. And of course, I'm talking about this Monday, CM Punk beat Sami Zayn for the WWE title. And then last night on AEW Dynamite, Kenny Omega beat MJF for the title. Really quick, I'll give you my quick thoughts. I approve of both title changes. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I a couple weeks ago, I did not really want the main event. I was like I said, I wasn't gonna be upset if the main event was Osprey Omega, but I wanted more. I wanted a more of a story than like New Japan, and it seems like they're gonna do that. That's what they're working towards. So I think I'm more on board with it now than I was 2 weeks ago. So I thought that was a good change. I think Sami Zayn, it's unfortunate. I don't think he's gonna be out of the title picture forever. I don't know what they're gonna do Friday. They set up a lot of different things with Gunther and Cody and Sammy, so they could do Jey Uso still floating around. So they can do whatever. It seems like it's gonna be CM Punk and Cody Rhodes because they got to sell tickets, and that seems like I guess the marquee match to most of the WWE universe. But hopefully something good happens for Sami Zayn because I think people really you might get like a Daniel Bryan situation out of this because people did not were not happy that CM Punk won. I got it. It was a great match. I liked it. Uh, but I did feel for Sami Zayn. I felt less for MJF. He's gonna be fine. He's either gonna weasel his way back in or fight Hangman at the pay-per-view or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of think that they should keep Omega and Will Ospreay as the main event real quick. I think that that is more appealing to the AEW fan base. I also think that well, now that you did it, you can't go back on it. I mean, I think there was money and Osprey comes back and takes out MJF, but because you did the Darby Allin thing and you did this, it's not going to mean that much if he beats MJF. It means the equivalent of like if Roman Reigns the build up to WrestleMania 40, or I'm sorry, even 39, lost to Drew and then he lost to LA Knight. And it's like, well, what is Cody overcoming? Because LA Knight beat him on SmackDown. You know what I mean?
And that was the whole thing about Sami Zayn. Like if Sami Zayn lost to if Sami Zayn beat Roman Reigns, and then it's Cody Sami Zayn, and it's like it didn't like last
Yeah.
year or 2023.
I mean, the only way you could have, now that I look back, the only way you could have done Sammy beating Roman is if Cody like super interferes. And then that way
Yeah.
Roman gets the title back on Raw the next night. It's not like he like got, it's still something for Cody to overcome. Like Cody has to like super interfere. Like Cody has to like hit him with like two chair shots, put him through a table, let Sami Zayn hit the hell of a kick. I think it's the only way you could have done it, and it didn't take away from Roman. You know?
Yeah. Well, they would have to reverse it that night and been like on this
Yeah,
like Roman's arm was this or whatever.
Well, no, yeah, Roman would have to win the title back on Raw to set WrestleMania. So
Yeah.
I think all in all, it all turned out for the best the way they played it out. But I kind of think that people love their New Japan match, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. People loved their I didn't like it at all. Their AEW match. I thought it was horrible. Reason being is that I'll tell you the reason why I don't like that match real quick. Kyle Lewis, I know you were dying to know. The referee throws out Don Callis. They do the whole big thing. You got to leave. And then Don Callis comes out later in the match, and the referee just lets him stay there because the finish is Don Callis like distracts Kenny Omega, and then Will Ospreay wins. And I'm just like, if he could just come back whenever he felt like it, why did he even leave? Why doesn't he just pull out a fucking shotgun and shoot Kenny Omega in the head and then burn down his house? And then Ospreay doesn't have to like fall on his neck 14 times. Like that was my problem. Like that to me is like I don't like because I feel like this way a lot in AEW and maybe it's improved, but I felt like when I was watching the pay-per-views and the shows constantly that they would just get lazy and be like, this doesn't matter. And I know the fan base feels that way because when I said that he should not have come back out, they said it doesn't matter. And it's just like, no, but it does matter. It does matter that he came back out. Like, if he came back out and got on the mic and said, Tony Khan has signed this letter that I can stand out here and act like a fucking doofus, that would have been good. But you just got lazy and you wanted him to interfere. Like, even if he just came from the crowd and ran and then ran back to the back, just something he just stood back out there. And to me,
Yeah.
that's like a step.
No, both companies are guilty of that. They'll
Yeah.
eject somebody and then the person somehow sneaks their way back in and you're just like, okay. And the referee
No, I
doesn't do
don't think he
shit.
snuck his way back in. Like, if he jumped from out of the ring, underneath the ring, he
He
just
just
walked
walked
out
back
and
out.
just started managing again.
Also, I
Like,
think AEW is like allergic to disqualifications. They really don't like them. So I get they do a lot of the referee's discretion.
well,
I don't think it's good either, but
I mean,
it was just a weird way to get around it.
yeah,
Well,
to me that makes the match 0 stars. That's 0 stars.
no, I wouldn't go that hard, but
No,
yeah.
I'm going that hard because to me, like by my logic, because this is the logic I would have. If I'm classy Freddie Blassie, right, and I'm managing Iron Sheik, and earlier in the
Mhm.
show, Jimmy Hart gets thrown out because he's been interfering too much, and then after 2 minutes, he comes back, just walks in the ring, hits fucking Tito Santana with the megaphone, then leaves. Then if I'm Freddie Blassie, I'm like, okay, the minute the bell rings, I'm gonna fucking take a baseball bat to Hulk Hogan's knees because no one's gonna do anything, and then we're gonna leave because this guy's gonna kill us. Like I'm just like to me, it's like why doesn't everyone? I would just get a manager and have him constantly not listen to the ref if I was a wrestler in AEW. Why would I ever not have a manager?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. But they
Sorry,
just don't they
I'm
just
just
no, they
like,
just hopefully I mean, they have the Death Riders looming around this, so who knows what's gonna happen when they have this match. I don't know if it's gonna lead to like the Death Riders versus the Elite, or it's just gonna be a one-on-one thing, or if it's even gonna be Kenny Omega's swan song, you know?
say this: if they do have Sheamus on the way, I would kick Moxley out of the Death Riders sooner than later.
I don't. I think they're working pretty good with him. If Sheamus comes over, I don't think he's staying for a long time. I don't know. He's a
That's what
guy
it's
that like
about.
either has to reinvent because he's so WWE. You know what I mean? The look, the all of it. It's, I don't know, the mohawk, all that stuff. Like, I don't know if he had to
I
cut
think,
his
I think
hair.
I think he can reinvent. He's a guy when he was called to do like indie style matches on WWE, he was
Yeah.
good at them. I mean, all
Oh,
his stuff was
I think he can do the matches. I just think it's look. It's almost like when you look at the Hurt Business, they look like they're coming out on Raw.
yeah.
Like it's just kind of like they almost look out of place, like you're playing like universe mode. You're like,
But
what
but
is it?
anyway, but I do think that it was the right move to give Kenny Omega the belt, and I do think it's the right move to main event with that match. And I just I'm not really I don't vibe with it MJF as the champ and the top guy. It
You
just
know,
doesn't.
he's had it for a few the first half of the year for the most part.
Yeah. And his other title reigns suck too with Adam Cole's my best friend and That
Oh,
stupid
you didn't like
wrestle.
the kangaroo kick and all that?
Yeah, all that shit wasn't for me, Glenn. So I think he's better. He's better as the Orndorff Piper role, where he's like just around to like constantly like fuck with everybody, you know?
Yeah, I think he has an Adam Page feud waiting in the wings. If Adam Page is back, like in time for All In, which I assume he will be. So he has that. I mean, if they really want to do something with Sheamus and MJF has no opponent, there's that. There's Mick Foley that they keep kind of pushing. Well, now they're pushing him on Kyle Fletcher. Um, MJF will be fine. MJF is gonna be fine. Like do your Osprey Omega match. Might be your final time doing it. I don't know when Kenny Omega. I thought this Kenny Omega would have a swan song here, but just based off the moves he was doing in the match, I'm like, I guess he's fine. He's doing moonsaults and shit off the top of stuff, so he might be okay. Better than
Yeah,
he's leading on.
bro, I think even if he's not okay, he's gonna do those moves. He can't go anywhere else but as hard as he can, you know?
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But no, it's gonna be a good match. It's gonna sell the pay-per-view. On the other hand, you got Willow, and I assume Willow's gonna beat Tekla, and you're gonna get Willow and Mercedes Moné, which also has a deep history with those two. So that'll be nice to see. I think Tekla's gonna move into some this stardom rivalry thing that they got going on. Kind of sucks for her to not be the champion at your big show, but hey, she's not really moving the needle. She's cool. I like her,
Who,
but
which one again?
Tekla.
Oh, I don't really care about that.
She's not moving the needle, so I can see Willow because Tekla versus Mercedes as a story, there's nothing there. Willow Mercedes has so much history with
Yeah,
their
I'd rather
New
see that.
Japan, the world, and all that, and
I feel like the AEW fan base keeps trying to make Thekla a thing, and she's not a thing to me. I think she sucks.
I wouldn't say that. I like her. I think she's not doing anything. I mean, she's this like drunk, obnoxious woman, which I get it was cool, but then also who's gonna face her? She's feuding with Stardom, and half the people are not there. They're in Japan.
Dude, I'm looking at the Ring of Honor card, and I can't believe half these people are like
There's a
in
Ring of Honor soon.
in AEW. I didn't realize Tehuti Miles was there.
Yeah,
And
he's there.
by LSU. Scorpio Sky, I guess, has a group called Skylight or Skyflight.
Yeah,
That-
that's where Zeta Steel's in it, and Matt Sydal just joined it.
Matt Seidel is
He was hurt for a while. He came back. He looks like
uh,
Evan Bourne again because he cut his hair.
the Von Erichs and the Rascals are taking on Nathan Cruz and I don't know
Wait,
who.
what is this show tomorrow?
No,
Friday?
this is right now the Honor Club. I'm looking at the card.
Oh, Honor Club. Okay.
Um, Mance Warner versus Daddy Magic. This is like the Colognes and Serpent. So fucking.
I mean, at least the Colognes are getting work. I don't know. I don't know what you do with Ring of Honor. I think he's just been trying to getting on something, and nobody wants it. And I think once it actually gets on, what happened?
Satnam Singh has a match too tonight.
Great. Once it gets on a show or a fast network or fast TV or something on its own,
Hmm.
then then maybe you add more of the like they were doing in the beginning, add the Claudios and the Chris Jerichos and stuff like that. I mean, that's also the problem with like Sheamus and stuff coming in. There's so many people. You just mentioned that Ring of Honor roster. These guys don't sniff the main roster. The inspiration's over there. Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, I mean Jesse McKay, Cassie Lee. They're over there. Deonna Purrazzo, Athena is slowly getting to the Ring of Honor to the AEW side. They just have a whole slew of people. I was talking to my brother. I was like, they can bring in Alba Fire, Kaylee Ray to team with Isla Dawn again because you guys need tag teams for your women's division. But then they'd be stuck on Ring of Honor. There's just so many people on this roster. And he doesn't, and bless his heart, he pays everybody, but he had too many guys. There's so many people who don't do anything.
I mean, the Rascals are already doing nothing.
Yeah. I feel like they could have been. I mean, I guess they weren't wanted there either. They could have been WWE bound. I think once Trey Miguel, they didn't get Trey Miguel either. They just kind of gave up on the group, even though there's nothing wrong with Myron Reed. But the rascals that I think of are those three, Trey, Desmond, and the other one, Nash
Yeah.
Carter.
I mean,
Uh,
I
I think
mean
it's
the
Nash Carter.
I mean they only got signed to fuck with the TNA premiere. I mean, let's put it. I mean, everyone said they're going to be on Ring of Honor, and people got mad. They're on Ring of Honor
Yeah,
now. It's like
yeah.
they never even were signed. It's like, come on. It's
Zachary Wentz. Nash Carter was his WWE name.
yeah, yeah. Zachary Wentz is his real name. And then I the one last thing I want to talk about before we get into ECW is Dark Side of the Ring. Now I have not watched
Wait, before we get to the Wesley too, man, poor guy. Like WWE just
that
gave up
guy,
on him, dude. He got hurt for like a year and a half, and he came back and they just gave up on him. He was so popular. I feel for him, but hey, he's making money. But
look,
yes, Dark Side of the Ring.
you see that on
You're
my
burnt
tattoo,
up, guys.
the
Yeah.
bubble of the tattoo. Oh, I never
I
had
mean,
that
if
before.
people are in the sunburns, put that as the clip, I guess.
I didn't realize. I didn't
I'm
realize your
sorry.
tattoos bubble up. All right, let's talk about Dark Side of the Ring. Then we'll get to ECW. I haven't
Hmm.
watched it, but I've seen enough reactions that I'm not gonna watch it. Uh,
Yeah, the first
basically,
hour is free on YouTube.
uh, you know what? They gotta pay me. Um, basically, Jeff Jarrett's podcast with Conrad has been a trying, and I listen to it. I listen to the podcast, and he's been trying to change history on the podcast. That it was actually great that he was champion, and TNA made a profit, and TNA was great until Hulk Hogan showed up. Now, TNA may have made a profit. I won't argue with that. I don't know how much it was though, and I won't argue that Hulk Hogan was not good for the company. But the idea that TNA was some great fucking show until Hulk Hogan showed up was absolute dog shit. And the only reason people have that opinion is because they don't watch, they weren't there, they don't watch the show. Nobody watched the show. I watched the show, and it was fucking garbage. All right. It had some good matches. They always had great matches, and we're gonna when we get to the TNA pay-per-views, you'll know because I'm making you watch these. Uh, because it's your
You have to
fault.
start paying. You have to start paying me, man.
Listen, those weekly pay-per-views, and I really want to support. I needed another WCW. I needed it in 2002, so I bought those weekly pay-per-views, and they would always start off hot. They'd have AJ Styles fall on his fucking neck, low key kicking people's heads off. You'd be like, wow, what a great decision. And then Jeff Jarrett would come to the ring and have the worst fucking match I've ever seen. Every fucking week, he would cut the same promo. He would do this. He would do that. I spent nobody else has done. I spent $520 on the first
Man,
year of TNA.
my
$10
goodness.
a show. I gave them $520, and I stopped. I couldn't do it anymore when 2003 summer of 2003 rolled along because of Jeff Jarrett.
That's a
Because
lot of money.
that was a lot of money. I put in the money. Then in 2005, I started buying the monthly pay per views again. So I gave them $30 a month. And the shows were great until Jeff Jarrett. And then fucking 2009, the year that he claims was so fucking great until he was fired, the main event Mafia was basically the NWO 10 years after they had any relevance, beating the shit out of guys that should have been their top stars. You want to say what you want about Hulk Hogan. You can say what you want. Hulk Hogan did not have a group of all WCW guys beating the fucking shit out of AJ Styles and Jay Lethal and Christopher Daniels. Okay? He didn't. Eventually, Chris Daniels and fucking had real matches. AJ Styles constantly was around the world title scene when Hulk Hogan was in charge. All right? So you can say what you want. I'm not saying the show was good. What I am saying is that like it wasn't a wall of WCW guys fucking up guys who should be your top stars. Okay, and it was an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment, and I don't want to hear this fucking how great Jeff Jarrett bullshit is. It's not. The reason why we needed AEW is because Jeff Jarrett failed to capitalize on having a second promotion. He made it a joke. He made it basically content filler for Spike. Spike paid for Hulk Hogan to come in because they wanted this to actually do something. Spike wanted Hulk Hogan because he wasn't getting the job done. I don't give a fuck about him fucking carrying Jarrett. I was there every week. Nobody wanted to watch the show with me. I watched it alone. I don't want to hear any of this. It was fucking bullshit. You're Now you can talk. Sorry.
Well, I don't remember as much. A lot of it is a fever dream. I can't. I guess the main event mafia was a thing. I remember they jumped Christian out of it. They tried to get him. That was like the end of 2008. Um, I remember it ended 2009. Like quote ended with like the big rematch triple threat with AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels, almost like a
Well,
swan
that was
song to how.
so. This was Vince Russo playing 4D chess when when suddenly Hulk Hogan, when he
Hmm.
told Hulk Hogan was coming in 2 months, he booked the last two pay-per-views as, and I have them on DVD, as wrestling. They were basically AW shows. He
Hmm.
immediately booked that match because he knew that the only thing people would remember are his like wrestling heavy shows. And then people be like, "Oh, TNA had such great wrestling until Hulk Hogan showed up," because he knew the Nasty Boys were coming, Val
Yeah.
was coming. So he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna book like it's Ring of Honor." He did that on purpose. So it's like, "Oh, you know how to book like Tony Khan. You did it the fuck with Hogan."
He doesn't like wrestling based off the Doctor of the Ring documentary and D'Lo
Yeah,
Brown.
but suddenly he knew how to book wrestling despite Hulk Hogan. I'm saying he
Yeah.
played 4D chess like that, dude.
Yeah, maybe he should have did that all the time.
He should, yeah, they do that all the time, including right now. And freaking,
I mean, people say the Juggalo show is fun to watch, but I don't.
I,
I'm good. I'm good.
I
I'll
still haven't.
I'll
Welcome
take
to
your word for it.
watch that.
Um, no, I mean TNA 2009 definitely had its bright spots. It was like a similar WCW for me. Like I like the X Division. I like the guys like the Machine Guns and Beer Money, AJ Styles, even Kurt Angle and stuff. And then when like the older guys were be around, I would check out. I didn't really care for Kevin Nash or I like the idea of the main event mafia, but then the execution, I was like, I'm good.
I mean,
Um,
I have Victory Road 2009, and Kevin Nash basically no sells everything AJ Styles is doing and pins him clean. And it's like, okay, maybe in
wonderful.
2002 you can do that, but 2009, that's the match you guys are gonna have.
Yeah. There was also that dumbass Hernandez cashing in his feast or fired on like a fatal four-way like an idiot, which is like
Mhm.
probably one of the dumbest booking decisions of all time. I don't know if that was Vince Russo or Jeff Jarrett or whose
That
call
was
that
it.
was. That was really dumb. But um no, it's definitely a revisionist history. It's one of those things that are written by the winners. They said they tried to get Dixie. I don't know how accurate that is. I watched the first one with my brother, and I'm just like, the real person you want to talk to about this, knows where all the quote bodies are buried, end quote, is Jeremy Borash because he has and did everything. He's with the WWE right now, and if WWE still made smeared DVDs, Jeremy Borash could tell you every little thing about TNA. So hearing it from Jeff Jarrett, you're hearing it one side of everything that's going on and the people who like Jeff Jarrett. And some of it might be absolutely true. Not all of it. But some of it might be very true. Um, I wish Dixie Carter did speak on the documentary. She chose not to. It would have been interesting to hear her side of the story because the way they're painting it in the documentary is Dixie came in, Dixie wanted more power, started to like kind of push Jeff out of it. Like he was gonna be on the call for the video game, and they're like, "No, now Dixie's on the call," and like things like
But
that. So,
and this is by the way by Jeff Jarrett's own words. Let me tell you what happened. Why Dixie got involved. Dixie was their publicist, right?
mm-hmm.
And they had financiers and they had backers. One guy got arrested for fraud. Another guy was lying about their pay per view numbers. Did they mention that the guy was lying about the
Yeah,
pay per
yeah.
view?
They mentioned the fraud guy, and that's when I think that's when they met Dixie Carter.
And Dixie, they tell Dixie, who's the publicist they hired, and she goes, her dad basically wanted to pay for her to go away. So he invested in the company with Panda Energy. It's at the end of the day, TNA survived because of her money. So if she
Yeah,
wants to sit in the fucking call, why can't she sit on the fucking call? I don't I don't understand. Like, why am I giving you all my money, but I can't but you're mad that I want to sit on the video game call? The video game that might
there's
actually make us money because it's not your booking that's making us money. So maybe this fucking video game.
They were saying that she started getting involved with the creative and messed with Dutch Mantel and Jeff Jarrett's visions, and Vince Russo was her go-to guy. If she wanted something pushed through, it was Vince Russo, so that would butt heads and things like that. I mean, this is all from the documentary.
But
Um,
well, why shouldn't she be involved? It's her. Like I'm not defending Dixie Carter, but it's her fucking money.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean, if
what?
you're an investor and you want to give and you give a shit about your money, you should be involved. I think they didn't want her involved in the storylines and stuff, and I seem like the way they're gonna frame it is she wanted to become a character, and which she did.
That kind of ruined them. Yes, Hogan got
Yeah,
to
and
make her a
yeah, it
character.
became
Yeah,
yeah. So I
you know.
mean, we all I think everyone can agree once Hogan and Bischoff came in, TNA had a lot of rough years that you can arguably say still they have not recovered from. Um, but they weren't like they're on the level with W. They were still number two because there was no other number two, but they weren't like the main level yet. They were getting there, and they were trying to invest in the right people. Eventually,
But they weren't like,
but they
dude,
were still
like.
making those big mistakes where like you said, Kevin Nash no selling and just beating AJ Styles.
But like even like the Kurt Angle thing, like they I saw they tried to paint it like Kurt Angle wanted to lead a revolution. No, WWE fired him, and Kurt Angle's in his
Yeah.
pocket. They thought he was going to die. They didn't want another Eddie Guerrero. They didn't want a headline where they had to do a special Raw where Kurt Angle's found dead in his hotel room or Kurt Angle did a fucking murder suicide.
Well,
They were
well,
like,
yeah. They tried to avoid that, and then look what happened.
and
Not with Kurt Angle, but
Jeff Jarrett picked him up knowing full well his drug problems were. He told Vince McMahon, "I'm going to die. Like I want to kill myself." And I think this is why Vince didn't really give him the goodbye match that he deserved. A month later, he's on TNA, and it's like, okay, but if you died in TNA, they're still gonna blame me. Like they're still gonna like. So I'm not defending, but it's like there's all these things they kept out, and I want Jeff Jarrett hired him because I don't give a fuck if you die. You're gonna give me ratings for a few months. Like I don't give a shit if you die, Kurt Angle. Like I don't care. Like if they fired a fucking John Cena, if John Cena was on so much coke he couldn't move and they fired him, he would have been walking out rapping against AJ Styles in 2008. Of course he would
no,
have.
immediately.
But like
I feel like WCW would have done the same thing.
I know, but we don't have these fucking documentaries being like how great Kevin Sullivan was and how he saved. Like it's just all disingenuous. Like I don't Jeff Jarrett's a fucking carny scumbag, and like this rehabilitation that he's actually a great guy. It's just fucking stupid. And I think he did a lot of damage with TNA because I think a second company could have been big. I know AEW is pretty big, but I'm saying like right away. But I think TNA was so fucking corny that every time I think it taught people that the only wrestling that matters is WWF because this other shit is horrendous and most of it has to do with his decisions. So
I think
people thought that before Hogan showed up. So
they just never they I think they just were never unable to capitalize because they had the talent. Just like we talk about WCW '98, they had the talent there, and whatever the main event, the thing to draw you in, just was never delivered. I know if you have Sting, and he's taking on Matt Morgan in your main event, and then some weird ass shit happens, you're not gonna tune back in.
yeah,
But
I
they
think
but they
the only
but they
way
had the talent.
the only way they could have really made a run of it is as soon as Dixie gets the money, one thing has to happen, which didn't happen.
Yeah, they didn't sign Brock Lesnar when they could have too. Would have
Two,
been
well,
interesting.
yes, 2003, like let's say around 2003, 2004, Paul Heyman has to get fired. That's step one. Step two, Dixie has to say, "It's my money, Jeff. You're being a bitch. Get the fuck out." That's step three. And step four, Dixie has to let Paul Heyman do whatever he wants around 2004. And then I
Apparently it
think,
was close. Yeah.
yeah, that was during the Hogan era.
Yeah.
Um,
Like
but
before Hogan, according to Paul Heyman, I think it was almost him. And then
yeah,
they went
but
with Hogan.
I think that's the only way that you could have done it. But I even think if Paul Heyman came in 2010, the damage was done. The damage was done. And, you know,
Yeah, no, it would have been hard to rebuild. And WWE was just there at the time. It wasn't like firing on all cylinders. It was a lot of John Cena fatigue for the adults.
mhm.
The kids, well, the kids didn't give a shit, but it was a lot of John Cena fatigue for the adults. So you really could have came along and brought something special. And there's
Yeah.
special stuff in TNA. I'm not gonna act like there isn't. But
No, there is,
but
but it's
the big
it was
number
never
two just
important.
never happened. Yeah. And they were fine on Thursdays. 2010, they moved to Mondays, and that was a stupid idea. And then, yeah, it's just it's Jeff Jarrett's version of the story. I mean, the only TNA people that are in it are Jeff Jarrett, D'Lo Brown, who I think isn't even around for some of the stuff they talk about on the documentary. Karen Jarrett, Awesome Kong. So it's like four TNA people. Like Samoa Joe, I think gets like one or two lines. Tony Khan is there in it for some reason. So it's very Jim Cornette, who also isn't there for some of the stuff they talk about.
Well, he was there. I mean, they made it. He worked with Russo. Like they got
Yeah,
along.
no, I know he was there, but like some of the stuff there, I'm like that they kind of like they don't have like a strict timeline. They kind of go in and out. Like 1 minute it's Vince Russo talking about the midget jacking off, little person jacking off with the trash can, and then the next minute it's like X Division, like or like Awesome Kong can't make any money, so their timeline's very loose. But one of the good things about that, I mean, there's a very nice thing about Jeff Jarrett's wife, Jill, who passed away. You know, a lot of people
Oh
very
yeah,
very kind
listen,
about that. Yeah.
I feel bad about the wife, but like everyone did. But that doesn't excuse that he shouldn't have a job. Like
There's also like 2 minutes on Taylor Swift because of course there is. I was
yeah,
like,
and
this has nothing to do with the documentary, but okay.
he keeps going on about he's a carny man. He's a fucking carny. He wasn't very good at anything, and we're gonna watch.
Oh,
We're
your
gonna watch.
favorite's in there.
Let me hold on.
James Vander, not James Vander. What's his name?
Oh,
Mortis's manager,
oh, James
Sinister
Vanderbeek.
Minister. Yeah, not
Listen,
Vanderbeek, but
listen. Everyone, James Mitchell. Everyone
yeah.
who wants to defend TNA against me. You don't own this. This is the four discs. They put out
What?
this is the biggest set they ever put out. A four-disc Jeff Jarrett set. Okay? Four discs. Holy
You don't
oh,
like him? Why do you have this?
because I collect wrestling DVDs, bro. All right?
Okay, even the
Four
ones you don't like.
four discs. Four fucking discs. So you watch. This is the biggest thing they ever put out. This is the big all the hours of footage. You could have done this for AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe. Do that for fucking Jeff Jarrett. They even like licensed footage from like Jerry Lawler for this fucking thing. So let me tell you something. You watch that and you tell me who ruined TNA. Was it Hulk Hogan or Jeff Jarrett? Because the ship had already, let me tell you something. Hulk Hogan, I'm not defending him with TNA. He did a lot of damage. The ship had already sailed. The ship had already sailed. All right. Hogan was just trying to get it back into port, and his 24-inch pythons could only go so far. That's all I'll say. It was already, he was already behind the eight ball, brother.
I mean, he took it in a completely different direction, but that we can save that for next week when they talk about Hogan. They haven't talked about him yet. They're
Oh
teasing
yeah.
that him
Well,
and Bischoff come in
Hogan, and then also
and ruin everything.
but we'll also have some Hogan complaints for sold out. But right now, let's focus on some more complaints. Guilty as charged. This show has some big bright spots for me, but also some huge lowlights. There's some huge things that just don't work. I was shocked how Taz does not have a definitive victory over Shane Douglas. In my mind, all these years, I thought that it was like Hogan Iron Sheik. Eventually, Taz just fucking beats his ass. And no, there's interference. It's not played up as a big deal. Yeah, I don't know. I was shocked by that. And the other thing that kind of hurts this show is the Dudley Boys. I think they're
Oh my
atrocious.
God.
Overall, what do you think of the show? I will say the
Uh,
highlight Tajiri is super crazy, but overall, what do you
of
think?
course. I mean,
Hmm.
for the most part, it wasn't terrible. Like the big three matches to Jerry Super Crazy, Rob Van Dam, Lance Storm, also good. Just Incredible Tommy Dreamer, not the worst. They did what they do. Um, the Dudley Boys, like I had it on and I'm trying to focus and also, you get a text here or there and it just goes on for so long. I don't think there's something that has aged and since we've been watching this, the pay-per-views at least, that has aged worse Then the Dudley Boys act with the Joel Gertner, especially this one, talking about banging Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, and Donald Duck. Like I literally was like, "Are you fucking animals, bro?" I like stopped paying attention. Like, is your promo about fucking mascots and like Disney animals? This is it this week, okay? And it's just so corny. I guess it was fine in '99, but it's so fucking corny. And then it takes Bubba Ray like 5 minutes to challenge the Public Enemy, and it's just like, oh my God, like it sucked me out of the show. Not the
Oh,
pause,
dude,
it sucked me
and
out of
he
the show.
and he looked like shit. He was so fucking fat. He
You know, he's
looks
very big. Yes.
he looks horrible, and he's like threatening everyone, and he's such a fucking doofus. And I want to like really shit on him, but the crazy thing is, I'm watching this and I'm like, wait a second, this is what's crazy about the Dudleys and Bubba Ray in particular. Wait a second, in a year they have a match of the year candidate at the Royal Rumble, and they become one of the hottest tag teams WWE ever had. I can't
Hmm.
believe it because this is atrocious. Like I lived it. I bought in. I can't believe like how the fuck did these guys do this? Because if I'm Vince McMahon, if I'm anybody, and I saw this match, I'd be like, not only are we never going to hire this guy, I want a blackball from the industry. What the fuck is this? And the fact that they also they steal the show at the Garden with the Hardys.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess you got to give all the credit to Matt and Jeff because they really made these guys because these guys are horrible. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy when you think about how bad what we just saw was and what
No,
happened?
it's crazy. I mean, WWE gets a lot of shit for taking a character and ruining it and doing A, B, and C, but they also have, and people don't give them credit for this, know how to maximize certain characters and give them
Mm-hmm.
that thing that gives them to the next level. And the Dudley Boys was one of those. Because when they came in, they had the ECW act, they had the stutter, they had the Confederate flag headband, and they were floundering. And then whatever happened with the look, I think someone told me they had to change their look, is what Devon said. So they got the camo pants and stuff, and people were like, cool. They started the table gimmick, and the rest is history. And WWE can be really, really good at finding that one thing that is going to take you to this level. And the Dudley Boys are a great example of that because I was getting tired of it in ECW when they would come out and spend 20 minutes fighting, and Bubba Ray will tell you about how much heat they get, and people wanted to jump in the ring and fight them. But now, especially like now, I'm just like, oh my God, this fucking sucks. So kudos to WWE for that. They do it with other wrestlers too. I can't really think about it right now, but they've done it with a million other people. But they never get the credit because it's, fed bad, as the kids like to say.
Oh yeah, always had bad. Yeah, I would love to know, like, if Vince McMahon ever wants to tell me, he probably doesn't, but I would love to know who produced the Dudley Boys towards the
Maybe
end.
Michael Hayes because the Hardys were like his little pet project because they were the managers and stuff.
Yeah, because I would want to say to I would want to say to the Hardys, like not the Hardys, I'm sorry, to the Dudleys. Listen, I know all your instincts when they would get came to the back. I would just say to them, all your instincts are wrong. And I mean, we'll get more into that when we get to the match. We should probably start really breaking down the show because there is some good stuff here. There is some good stuff,
Hmm.
and it's funny to watch this stuff years later and then remember where all these guys go, and then think to yourself, there's a reason. And I don't know. I don't teach wrestling, but I'll just say there's a reason some people went places and other people did not. You know,
Yeah,
and some of
definitely.
the people that did not go anywhere seem to be the ones that never shut the fuck up, and people who did big things don't say a fucking word. All right, so here we go. Up first, Paul Heyman comes in to let us know Masato Tanaka didn't make it, and Jerry Lynn is still recovering from injury, so they're off the card. And then he says, "What the hell was that?" And then he says that you know what, guilty as charged. We're not going to jerk you around like the other guys, and we're going to have a great show. What did you think of Paul Heyman coming in right up front and being like, "Hey, man, you know,
It's very ECW being like, hey, this advertising thing is not going to happen, but we got some surprises for you. You don't really get that much in the at the time in the other companies. Or if they did, I don't think the surprises would deliver as strongly. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that was cool. So the first match we get is Axel Rotten, Balls Mahoney versus Denny Doring and Roadkill. I'm sorry. First of all, it's Denny Doring and Roadkill versus the FBI. Match
Hmm.
starts kind of mid. Axel Rotten, Balls Mahoney come out. The crowd goes wild, and you think that now we're gonna get a crazy match, and then they join the match, and it continues to be mid. They don't really add much, these two guys. So the match continues. It is what it is. At the end of the day, though, Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten win. What did you think?
It was fine. It was what it was gonna be. I remember for a while they were like the openers. Those two, Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney, they're just your ECW faces, and they would be in these opening matches. So I just chalked it up as one of those. They did put over Nunzio's just like rest little Guido. Maybe I am fed pilled. I can't say anybody's name that's not their WWE name. Um, they talked about little Guido's just skills, pretty much like his skills as a wrestler and stuff. That was nice. It was just there. I wish Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney seemed like a team that would have had a lot of fun in the Attitude Era. I know they brought them in an ECW, the revived ECW, and they were maybe a team for like 2 weeks before they got rid of them. But they seemed like a team that would have had a lot of fun in the Attitude Era, fighting the Headbangers and the Hardys and stuff like that. Especially with these unprotected chair shots. They did take a chance on Balls Mahoney like a year in '07. Like they gave him his own storylines and stuff. But I always felt like they had a potential as a team, at least in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, they did have a potential, but didn't really work out.
Yeah.
So up next, Terry Funk cuts a promo about how he loved Tommy Dreamer, and Tommy Dreamer betrayed him, so he's going to kick his ass. I don't know. This doesn't go anywhere, and it kind of telegraphs the finish. Also, like I like Terry Funk, I hate Tommy Dreamer, so that also fails. I don't know. What do you think of Terry Funk's promo?
I thought it was fine. It was just a Terry Funk promo. I didn't think that much of it. I know, like, yeah, the storyline kind of falls flat. I think having a heel Terry Funk is kind of hard because everyone he's beloved. Like, some people are just so beloved you don't want to boo him. And I think
Yeah,
he was just at that point where he was just beloved.
yeah, no, you don't want to boo him. Up next, match of the night. What I think is one of the most important matches in ECW ever. It's Tajiri versus Super Crazy. This is Tajiri's pay-per-view debut. This is the thing. This is when I knew Tajiri. Rewatching it nowadays, this is when I knew Tajiri's got it. I've never seen this match. I've never seen this show until just now. This is one of the pay-per-views I didn't have. They're doing their thing. They're doing their spots, and the crowd starts chanting boring loudly. And then Tajiri does three insane spots calmly, does not let the crowd get them. And then he jumps from the outside on Super Crazy. The crowd goes nuts. They never chant boring again. They are now fully invested. And to me, that is this guy's never been on pay per view before. Super Crazy has never been on pay per view before. These guys are getting a one on one match. This is the Attitude Era. This is the Monday Night Wars. These guys are given 11 minutes on pay per view, and I feel like a lot of young guys would have got nervous with the boring chants. And instead, Tajiri has the confidence to be like, "I'm going to get you to stop, but you got to give me a minute to set this up." And he does it, and he wins over the crowd. And him and Super Crazy win over the crowd. And based on the strength of this match, this is what I mean by like I was looking on this card. The only guy to really have a one-on-one match with Steve Austin in 2 years is Tajiri, and I think it's because of matches like this that Austin says, "I want Tajiri," and not everybody else in the final year of his career. Um, it because like this shows me that Tajiri understands more than a lot of these other guys. He understands what it's all about. And these guys, their performances in ECW, they secure themselves careers in WWE, secures themselves statuses as legends. Super Crazy just wrestled this weekend in Japan. He's still going.
Hmm.
Um, and it's a terrific match. I can't overstate how great it is. They really struck gold with these two. And Tajiri, man, what a first impression he gives the ECW crowd, the American crowd, and everybody. There's a reason why this guy is so well remembered. And watch this match to find out why. What you think?
Tajiri is one of those wrestlers that, it's really hard to find a wrestler that's universally loved that like people like absolutely have no issues with. Tajiri is one of those wrestlers. Like if you put like a post on Threads or something about Tajiri, you'll be hard pressed to find somebody to be like, that guy sucked, or he was this, he wasn't that good. Everybody loves Tajiri. Like Triple H has had matches with Tajiri, Steve
Yes,
Austin, like you said, Stone Cold. The Rock and Tajiri have a couple photos together, and now it's viral thanks to Deadlock. Look at my man Tajiri bringing out the pies, became a viral thing during a diva search moment where Tajiri comes out with all the pies, and The Rock just says, "Look at my man Tajiri bringing out all the pies," and people just love that combination. He is like probably the most universally loved wrestler. It's like a comic that everybody's happy to see. Like they're good. Their sets are always good. They're nice to you. They're friendly. They're everybody, not just nice to you. They always have good sets. They may not be the headliner. You can put them in that spot or next to the headliner and they hold their own. But they just everyone loves them and they show why in the ring. And Tajiri is one of those people. Um, so I think that the match was awesome. Him and Super Crazy always had great chemistry, and then they would add Little Guido and Psychosis to it for a bit. Never crossed paths in the WWE later on because I think Super Crazy came in when Tajiri was coming out. They had the Mexicals on SmackDown, and Tajiri was getting ready to leave Raw, so they never really crossed paths in the WWE, but. Wonderful, wonderful match. I think it's a match that should be studied, and the perfect person to be studying it right now is Ray Phoenix, because for whatever reason WWE is putting him out there as the AAA Cruiserweight Champion, and Ray Phoenix is a phenomenal talent, but when you have a match like that, and you put Ray Phoenix up against an Axiom or Nathan Frazer or I forgot who he fought last week, the crowd's dead. They're doing all the right moves, but the crowd is completely dead. The crowd does not care. And you can say it's because they condition fans to not care about wrestling and blah, 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 blah. But I don't know, man. Steal the match. I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's a way to get it to work, and Tajiri and Super Crazy made it work.
yeah,
You should still be able to make it work in 2026. There's no reason why Ray Phoenix versus Axiom, two very talented superstars, wrestlers, should be getting crickets. No reason.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think also Tajiri knew when to adjust, and he had the freedom to adjust. And I don't know if he's. I remember, what's the guy, the video game guy, TJ Perkin. What's his name?
Yeah, TJP.
TJP said that they had to get all their spots pre-approved. So
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
the
that happens, I guess. Yeah.
crowd thinks he stinks if he's Ray Phoenix, but I don't know. I mean, Tajiri figured it out and saved the show because if Tajiri and Super Crazy aren't on this, it's a very different show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Up next, another great. First of all, whoever is dressing John Crows needs to be fired because
I
John
think
Crows' outfit is atrocious.
I
But
think he is just fat at the time.
John Cronus is out there. Jeff Jones reveals that his mystery opponent is Sid. Sid destroys him in a minute and 31 seconds. Great to see Sid again. You know, I was watching the show, I'm watching Tommy Dreamer do his bullshit. I'm watching fucking the Dudley Boys. This is the thought I had. Watch the Dudley Boys. I would go to let me ask you a question. Who do you think is a better worker? Who do you think is the better worker out of these three? Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, or Psycho Sid? Who's the best worker out of them?
Worker?
Yeah.
Sid?
Yes. Sid. Sid is the best worker out of all three.
I think Bully Ray would disagree, but
Well, no, Sid is better than them because number one, Sid has something that you can't teach. That's number one. And number two, Sid can read the crowd. Sid is better than them. They will never be Sid. That's the thing. Sid is really good at this. It's just that I don't know, like the fucking the big history belongs to the winners, I guess. But I'm like Sid understands wrestling so much more than Bully Ray Dudley. Bubba Ray Dudley right now in 1999. Sid gets it and Bully Ray doesn't. I will say the other funny thing about the ECW crowd is they really will pop for any ex WWE guy that shows up, and they will
they
right
will.
ECW. They pop for Sid like fucking Jesus Christ came back to life. Like they are so happy to see Sid. And to me, Sid is everything that ECW doesn't represent is against. He's everything that supposedly they for, but they love the fact that they got to see Sid. I don't know. It's fun. Sid is back. We're gonna see a lot of him until the end. So Sid's back in our lives. How do you feel about that, man?
No, I think this was a great use of Sid. It was for someone who didn't like Sid at the time. This was a great use of Sid because he would come, he had the 911 role. He'd come in, have a short match, choke slam people, leave. Wasn't really a threat to like your big storylines, big title picture stuff. And then he goes back to WCW and stuff happens. But I think it was a great use of Sid here. Sid is just somebody that people love. Well, I wasn't a big fan, but people love him. There's
Yeah.
just something about his look, his energy. Like you said, the ECW crowd. ECW crowd is funny because, like you said, they shit on WWE, and then like somebody comes in, they're like, "Yay, he's here," which is just kind of funny. I don't think you get that as much anymore, thanks to social media. Like people are already like, "We don't want Sheamus in AEW," and like Sheamus didn't even say anything. When people were tweeting at Sheamus, like, "Don't come to our Fed." I don't know, man. Let Tony Khan make that decision. Like he'll make the decision, but you don't get that now. Like if Sheamus, although it's funny, if Sheamus popped up on Dynamite on Wednesday, everyone was gonna pop.
Oh yeah.
Like if you didn't even know the contract ended and Sheamus just showed up, you would have lost your mind. Everyone would have lost their minds. They would have lost it.
Well, dude,
But
they say stuff like I don't want Sheamus there, I don't want Karrion Cross there. But if Karrion Cross like cost or helped Kenny Omega win the title on Wednesday, they would have popped for Karrion Cross. I'm not saying to hide
yeah,
Kenny. I agree with that. Man.
yeah,
Um,
no, they would have popped.
they would have popped, yeah, and they'll pop for our best friend what you call. They'll pop for the New Day. They'll pop for who else just got fired and said he's going to come over. Oh, the Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I think there's like a show in Detroit like the week after they got let go. I think they're a lock, even if it's like one match. I think you're getting the guns. I think you're getting New Day with this Stardom stuff. I see. You can maybe get Kyrie Zane. I don't know if these people are gonna stay around forever, but you're getting them for at least a little bit. I mean, why not? You know,
yeah, totally. Yeah, why not?
these are divisions that need it. I think you need AEW. They need. They have a lot of tag teams, but it just feels I can't even think of the tag team champions are. Oh, Cope and Christian, so they can do their little Cope and Christian matches. Uh, the women's division could always use people. You just have to use them. Maybe not have one match a show at 9:30. That'd be nice. Like you can't get everybody, but I think there's gonna be a lot of use for these people who were recently let go and Sheamus if he comes in.
Yeah, yes, we gotta. Well, somebody please think of Sheamus. All right,
Yes.
Sheamus showed up just now. Next up, by the way, we're told. By the way, you're told this wasn't even supposed to be on the show. So imagine ordering this show and being like, "Oh, thank God, there'll be no Dudleys here." And then they
Too
walk,
late. They got your money.
dude. For Bubba Ray looks so fat. Looks so. Does not look like a wrestler. Just he looks like I don't want to say who he looks like 'cause I like this guy. But he looks like Brendan Sagalow. All right, that's what he looks like. Okay,
Ah,
but
no, just
I like him.
I know he's a good guy.
But like he's not threatening to me. If Brendan walked out on Night Raw telling CM Punk he's gonna beat the shit out of him, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I bet.
All
What are you
right,
doing here, man? Why
very funny
you?
guy. But
Maybe Billy Ray should have done stand up.
no, dude, Bully Ray right now would own the stand. All right, he would own the stand. This is what Bully Ray, and he'd also own New York Comedy Club. Somehow he would wound up. I love that fact that like, oh my god, this guy is very successful. He'd be like, hey, I would love to have a show. You want to have a show at my comedy club? Is
Oh
that
my
what you?
God.
How long have you been doing it? And then like some fucking hot chick comes by, like, I want to do a show. Oh, sweetheart, right here. Oh yeah. Oh, you're so funny. Oh, sweetheart. Sweet. Get Byron a shot. Devon, get the shots. But then like you go up and be like, I love wrestling. You like wrestling? Is that supposed to impress me? Because I did wrestling. That's what he would do a whole fucking day.
Oh, I'm glad he's not a comedy club owner then.
You want to do my bringers? Wrestling. I had to do the problem. Oh, I don't feel like you should book bringers. Oh, he would be on Facebook defending all his stupid decisions. He would just be the fucking worst. He'd be awful. He'd be like, yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like Larry David.
You want to? I tell you, it's not that easy to do this. And
I'm telling you, you listen to a lot of Busted Open or no?
I see clips of him, and he likes to over talk. He
He
like,
does overtime.
I mean, who's gonna win? Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. We are in London, and Will Ospreay is the crowd favorite in London. And if you listen to the crowd, you would go with Will Ospreay. However, I think long term, because I'm a fat piece of shit,
Oh, he doesn't say that part, but yes.
he would
Pretty
go.
good, pretty good cadence. You've seen enough clips. You've seen
I'm
enough clips.
I'm thinking long term. What I would do is I would have Big Vito jump Kenny Omega before the match, and then pin Will Ospreay in 14 seconds with the help of Kyle Fletcher. That way, you get over Big Vito, you get over Kyle Fletcher. The heat is through the roof, and Will Ospreay now when you come back to London for the return, the crowd is going to be that much more thirsty for it.
I mean, Big Vito needed that push like 20 years ago. It's a
You
really
bring
good impression.
You're going to really bring in Big Vito. Also, Johnny the Bull. That way he has backup. Kyle Fletcher needs men that give him credibility, and Big Vito and Johnny the Bull will give him the credibility he needs to get over in the mainstream. Because I don't know if you know this, Big Vito can cut a promo because he was in ECW, WCW, WWF. He got a friggin' dress over fucking Dave. He got a dress over Dave. I think he can get over Kyle Fletcher. I know what I'm doing. I was over in TNA for 4 people. I know what I'm doing.
He did get a dress on.
You tell I don't like the guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, you've seen enough clips. Like enough clips have come on your feed because it's really
Great idea. Then his idea is like, I would actually have Will Ospreay lose on the Ring of Honor show the night before to Daddy Magic, and then have Daddy Magic unify the belts.
my God.
Hear me out.
We had Big Vito still wrestling, by the
Yeah, well, exactly my point.
way.
You see
Bring
what I'm
back the bring back the Mama Lukes.
bully, and you'll.
He does say like stick the bully and Uncle Bully and all this other stuff.
Any guy who calls himself uncle, I never call my. You don't call yourself uncle. You let other people call you uncle. All
Yeah,
right,
you can't really kind of give your own nickname. It's kind of weird.
can't do that. You can't be uncle. No, they gotta call you the uncle. All right. So
Johnny
speaking of
Stamboli is still doing autographs with it. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
with this, Dave, Kyle Fletcher will be the next year when Kyle Fletcher comes out leading the FBI. Because by the way, Nunzio owns the trademark. Tony Khan. So when Kyle Fletcher is the new leader of the FBI, and he's coming out because here's the thing: we can get we can get a freestyle band to play his theme live at Wembley. So
My
when
God.
Kyle Fletcher is coming out as the new leader of the FBI, he will be the top heel in the company.
Stamboli's still wrestling too, I found out.
You Now it's starting to make you think that I don't know what I'm talking about, but what I make these I'm trying to help these guys by having them
Yeah.
all move to Big Vito in 2026.
I'm here for the Mama Luke's reunion in 2026. Let's do it.
The
Oh
Mama
my
Luke,
God.
Tracy's mother. Listen,
Well, I
actually,
don't know about that one. What?
Tommy Rich, Tommy Rich would actually, if they could get him to manage in AEW, that actually would be funny. That would be very funny. I think he'd be funny at it. He's still
If you're
around.
listening. if you're listening, I mean, this stuff comes back to Bully Ray. He does argue with fans, so you might have
But
rang the
no, no.
bell.
As the Goots, I think that if Tommy Rich could still do what he did in ECW, I think he'd be very fun.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's mine. I
Mm.
actually would be excited to see Tommy Rich play a buffoon
They,
in it. All right,
they would treat him well too. I mean, Tony Khan's a big, history buff, so he would treat Tommy Rich very well.
I consider him a legend. Since he's an NWA champion. I mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Here we It is the Dudleys versus New Jack and
That's how
Spike.
much we don't want to talk about the Dudley's match. Like, we went on a 5 minute tangent.
Itself went 10 minutes. Bully Ray cuts a long promo before the match. He cuts a long promo after the match where Devon a couple of times he here when he started hitting New Jack, he stopped himself from saying something. I think he was
Yeah.
gonna go full Hogan, brother. I don't know. I think he had to stop himself. Did you notice that with Bully Ray?
He kept me like shut the fuck up and like stopping to hit him, and I don't know if he was gonna say the word, but
Before he was about to keep going with his sentence when he said something New Jack on the phone. He paused, and I'm like, I think his instinct was to say something derogatory in the worst sense of the
yeah,
word. He
I
paused.
mean it was 1999 Dudley, so
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think he could have came back from that. Even
no,
then,
no, no, he would not have come back.
we wouldn't have come back from. Doesn't even matter if the crowd liked it or Paul Heyman liked it. He's not coming back from that with New Jack.
No.
Devon and Ron Simmons would have been the acolytes next year.
Yeah,
Bully Ray
yeah, no, New Jack would have fought him for him. I just found out New Jack fought the Junkyard Dog, in a backstage fight.
don't like that. Don't do that to the JYD. We're curious.
No,
JYD.
apparently he owed him weed money, and Junkyard Dog wasn't paying for the weed money.
He shouldn't pay
So,
for
I mean, it's New Jack. He's not gonna do it because he's a legend. And then
uh,
they got into a brawl over it.
the disrespect that JYD got. Like, you're gonna beat up Hulk Hogan for weed money? No, you're gonna be like, okay, Mister. Imagine New Jack trying to beat Hogan for weed money. That'd be really
I
funny.
mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
And Hogan would pay for the weed. Well, here's the weed money, dude. Just give me a look. Um,
Ryan
brother,
Knobs got it.
I bet room. I got some stuff to tell you, brother. Brother. All right. I just the disrespect
Yes,
that
this man.
I wish Junkyard Dog hadn't died because I feel like now he would be treated like a fucking legend of legends by WWE and AEW and even TNA for that matter. I think like Tony Khan would give him the red carpet treatment. I think WWE certainly would have, and I think he would have realized how special he was because I don't think he realized that at the end. I think he thought he wasted his life. You know.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Especially for the family coming home from a graduation. Terrible way to go. But yeah, I
I
don't think
mean,
he realized. I don't think he got his. What happened?
he didn't have to see this match, which was good.
Well, no, he didn't have to see this match. Uh, but I think no, it's something that especially back then, the legends back then did not get their flowers, as the kids say, and he did not get his flowers. He was kind of on the verge of rehabilitation, and maybe he would have got it in a couple years. Well, WWF was like not really messing with the legends like that, but yeah, like 10 years.
Put him in the Hall of Fame, so he would
They
have. He
would,
would have.
yeah, he would have been in the Hall of Fame. He would have been all those backstage segments with Brodus Clay and Eugene and shit. But then if he survived all of that, he would be getting his flowers now. He would be getting like the TNA JYD night in Mid South and stuff like that. It would have been good. It would have been good.
Unlike this match, so this match 10 minutes, but
Yes.
Bully Ray pin Spike. Now Bully Ray cuts a long promo. Long. I was thinking like someone else is going to come out because it's so long. No,
Yep.
all it is to challenge the Public Enemy to fight them on a house show. Okay, so this match that he challenged him for, this is before streaming. This is not really. There's no guarantee it's going to be in the weekly show. This is basically a house show. RF video records. When he says Public Enemy, finally I'm like, how long has this been going on? And I
Yeah.
checked, bro, 30 minutes. 30 minutes of pay-per-view time
Oof.
devoted to promoting a house show that most of the audience couldn't see or was going to go to in 1998 with this shit. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen on pay per view.
It's bad. I was bored like twice. I was like, okay, they're talking. I'm like, this is going on for a really long time. When's it gonna end? And this isn't like a heel heat kind of thing. To me, maybe it was back in '99, it worked. But on the VHS, rewatching this or on, the way we rewatch it, it was like this does not age well at all. This is probably one of the worst aged things I've ever seen. And I just wanted it to end. And all that for a public enemy match that we're not gonna see. It was a waste of everybody's time.
Waste of everybody's time. Okay, up next, it's Rob Van Dam versus Lance Storm. Lance Storm was substituting Tanaka. Um, dude, this was the original card. RVD versus Tanaka, which I don't think we ever get. Maybe we get on a house show. I don't know.
I thought they fought once.
And then a three-way dance between Lance Storm, Jerry Lynn, and Spike Dudley. What a better card that would have been instead of that Dudley Boys match. But whatever, they gotta kill time. This match though is pretty good. Tammy Lynn bitch, Dawn Marie keeps interfering. Alfonso goes after a little bit too hard. His whistling's annoying.
It's
But
very
this
annoying.
RVD, the crowd is learning now, and I know because I was at these house shows in '98. The crowd is learning that you pay attention to RVD. You don't fucking shit on him. You let him do his thing, and Paul Heyman gives him the time, and he does his thing. Obviously, this is not going to be as good as what we're going to get with Jerry Lynn very shortly, but I really enjoyed it. What do you think?
No, I thought it was a good match. It's Rob Van Dam continues to get better and better. Lance Storm, it's hard to have bad matches with Lance Storm. It it was good. They got in and out of the ring. They were in the ring. They had the technical part. They had the hardcore part. Bill Alfonso's whistling very very annoying. That's another thing that does not age well. I think we've talked about that before. And no, just, especially for something on the fly, a good match, a match to a reason to watch this pay-per-view, or at least watch this match from the pay-per-view. If they
Yeah,
ever do the ECW Vault like they have with the WCW one, this is a match that I would put on.
yeah. Now another match. Stairway to Hell match, Justin Criddle versus Tommy Dreamer. There's a Singapore cane hanging above the ring that can be reached by climbing a ladder, but the match
Sure
ends with a
is.
full submission. So theoretically, you don't even need the cane. You could just, because if anything goes, you could just beat the guy with a ladder. But my problem with the Stairway to Hell match is it makes sense with Sandman and Sabu because they're both complete maniacs that they're just climbing up
Yes.
and pulling on top of each other, right?
Yep.
It really doesn't make any sense for these two because it's like there's some spots where they just decide they just jump off the ladder and stuff, and it's like, no, you don't like Just Incredible. Like he's been torturing you. Wouldn't you just want to beat this guy into unconsciousness? Why are you wasting time climbing a ladder? Like just fucking like it'd be one thing if the Singapore King you have to get it to win, right? The only way you
Yeah.
can is you have to hit him with the Singapore King and then pin him. But you never even
Mm.
go near there. So it doesn't it just it makes the match longer than it needs to be, and it's kind of fucking stupid. Because it's not in their character. I feel like these are two guys who are like okay, so Ric Flair. If you tell Ric Flair, the '80s Ric Flair at least, hey, there's a ladder, you can use it, but you get this cane, but also you can just pin him. Ric Flair's, well, I'm just gonna pin him because I want to get to the bar. Like that's his character. Like,
Yes.
and why the fuck am I gonna climb this ladder? That's fucking stupid. All like, you might as well have $1 million like in some guy's pocket, in the why? Um, Yeah, this, and I feel like Just Incredible would be like that too. He's like, well, I'm not gonna climb the ladder. I'm just gonna kill this guy and pin him and go home.
Yeah.
Um, Terry Funk interferes anyway, and then Just Incredible gets the win by pile driving Tommy G onto the ladder. It's okay. It just to me felt not true to their characters. What do you think?
No, you put it that way. It's one of those matches. It was one of the big flaws with going into 2009, Randy Orton versus Triple H is probably one of the most egregious ones. These guys hate each other. Randy Orton kissed your wife, and you're starting with like tie-ups. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
nobody fucking wants to see that. I know there's a disqualification aspect, but yeah, people want to see you fight, and they
Mhm.
did not, and you didn't see the fight. So same thing here. Like if you hate each other that much, they should go for any blood feud. Fight. Like I don't the rules of wrestling don't apply until they need to apply. But the rules of wrestling don't apply. You beat the shit out of that person. That's what the person wants to see.
Yeah.
And so this is just another case of that. Tom and Jimmer interference. This is really to get Just Incredible to the level that he is. This is the year of Just Incredible. So it got that accomplished, mission accomplished. Jazz, a very young Jazz was there
Right, she
doing her
interferes.
thing. Yeah, that was cool. She was so different, but she was there. And this goes on for a while. I know this is, like I said, the rise of Just Incredible. We get to see a lot of Just Incredible going forward,
Oh,
whether that's a good or bad thing.
yeah. A lot of Just Incredible. Okay, up
A
next,
lot of Just Incredible.
a lot of Just Incredible. We're gonna see a lot of them. Some of it's not as bad.
Mhm.
Some of it's pretty good. This wasn't one of them. All right, up next, the main event. These guys are going for it. You know, I always heard this match was good. It's on one of the ECW Blu-rays that WWE put out, and I always assumed this match was a statement that Taz is the next top guy. And they go for a lot. They brawl in the crowd. They go for a lot that should make this feel epic, and it just doesn't. Even the way Chris Candido turns on him is kind of lame. Uh,
Mhm.
I will say the coolest thing about the match is how Sabu interferes because the lights go off and then Sabu is in the ring. There's fireworks on the top. It almost feels like are they fireworks or is the building just about to blow up? Because the way it looks
Yeah.
weird, but it fits Sabu perfectly. But my problem was you have 5 minutes to go on the show, and Sabu's putting Taz through a table, and it's like, but that's. And I get that you're building towards another Taz Sabu match, but that like this is his moment, and
Yeah.
Taz is dominant. He's been building towards this for a year, and you know, but Taz wins. He wins with the submission, and then they quickly go off the air. What do you think of the match? I thought it was okay.
I think it was fine. I mean, the interference, you probably didn't want that. Like you said, if it's Taz's crowning moment, you probably want a definitive win. Shane Douglas doesn't like tap out. Shane Douglas, although I believe he tapped out once for the TV title like years before, a couple years before. But here you're probably gonna make a stronger statement with if Shane Douglas tapped out. Is this his last match before going to WCW, or is he still around for a little bit? If you remember.
A little bit. Him and Tommy Dreamer form a tag team where
What?
they're like
Okay.
full. They take on the Impact players from it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess
Yeah.
that's why you don't have him tap out because he's still around. So you gotta want to keep him strong. But you could have had him tap to Taz and kind of really cement Taz. But I think Taz was at this point in ECW that like he was already the guy, so like you didn't really need to push that extra step to tell people he was the guy. So maybe that's why I didn't do that. I like the Sabu interference as well. It was random. It was not random because they had a video about it, but I didn't expect him to show up. I thought it was one of those things where it was like, oh, he'll show up later because he's that hurt, and they'll just
Yeah.
build it a few later. But I was wrong, and it was a lot of calamity. Tammy Lynn and Candido, and maybe we could have done without that, but it was fine. I mean, you got again another thing that got you where you need to go. Taz is the champion, and Taz will be the champion for a while until he's ready to go himself.
Yeah. All right. Overall, I would say find this Tajiri super crazy match. Skip the rest. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to watch Rob Van Dam and Lance Storm, you can watch that too.
Yeah.
But the Tajiri, I don't know if it's already on WWE somewhere. I feel like it
It-
is. Tajiri versus Super Crazy. What
yeah, it's
happened?
really, it's really a good match. It really
Yeah.
was like,
And
like
it's not long, it's not a long match, so you'll be in and out, but you enjoy yourself.
yeah. Hats off to those guys, man. What a treat. What a treat. Because I needed a treat after this shit. All right. Let's go over the next 4 weeks. Next week, it's Sold Out 99. Goldberg versus Scott Hall in a ladder match, but also, I haven't told, I don't know if you remember this. Ric Flair and David Flair in his in ring debut taking on Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham. That's next week.
Mm.
In
Mm.
2 weeks, it's Royal Rumble 99, Mankind versus Rock, I Quit match. In 3 weeks, it's Valentine's Massacre 99 with Vince versus Stone Cold in a steel cage. And then in 4 weeks, it's Super Bowl 9. It's Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan. What are you looking forward to?
No, I don't know. I'm gonna let's just keep going. I'm gonna go with the Rumble. We're gonna go with the Rumble.
The
See what else
Rumble and the
happens.
Wednesday
Yeah.
match actually is a pretty good. The last three matches, there's a tag match with Kane and China versus Triple H and X Pac, and that match is really good. Triple
Mm.
H, I remember at the time being shocked, but not me. Triple H bumps for China. Triple H like when China hits him, he treats it like he's getting hit by The Rock or by Stone Cold. Like he actually
Oh wow.
and it
That's
makes
what
the
happens when you're in love.
but yeah when you're when
Yeah.
you're in love. But that made it work, and I think the fact that he sold for her so much in her this is like her first real match.
Hmm.
Um, that made other men have to sell for her, which helped her matches when she started like having like more involved matches. You know,
That's good. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. We'll see how it comes out, and I mean, we know how it worked out, but we'll see how the matches go and how well things age.
we know how it all worked out with China Triple H.
Yeah.
He did her that
Yeah.
much.
It's not
Crazy.
a. If you listen to the theories, he pushes Rhea Ripley because he sees China in her, and he's trying to atone for his mistakes because this is Tumblr in certain people's minds.
I mean, she did never recover. She
No,
didn't.
she did not recover. Yeah, that's the difference. I'm talking about the theory. No, there's a
It would have
lot of
been.
downward spirals. It's
I don't.
unfortunate.
I don't know if she like if they tried to let a bygones be bygones Hall of Fame induction. I think everyone, the newer generation, would have been accommodating. But I think it just would have been too painful for her to see Triple H with his family and Stephanie. I don't think she could have ever. I don't think she would have been on Stephanie McMahon's podcast. Now I would have paid serious money to see that, but
I
I don't.
mean, with the right rehabilitation, I mean, China, it's a whole, there's a lot there. Even
I
like this,
like
like I
recovered
don't,
and got married and like had a whole new life.
yeah,
I don't think she could have went back to WWE, had the Hall of Fame, and did the podcast and stuff. I just don't think she could have.
yeah. I think they would have the something about the WWE and just getting that flowers from them that a lot of these people who are like, I'll never come back, like they just want that acceptance. And they want their flowers. I mean, that's almost any job that you spend a lot with. You know, I used to pre-Bully Ray, used to be on Busted Open, and I got to do stand up for them a couple years ago, and that felt good. I did not leave on my favorite terms,
But
but
but here's the difference. Like the Ultimate Warrior made amends. Bruno
yeah.
Sammartino, Vince McMahon's family didn't steal the woman they loved.
Yeah, no, it's a different story. It's something we'll never know. I think China's story is very tragic because I don't think she had good people in her, based off everything I've seen, had good people in her corner afterwards, even when she was trying to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to get sued for defamation or something. So in my opinion, the people that she had in her corner trying to make the reality shows and do all that
I
stuff,
thought they were great.
what happened?
I'm fucking with you. I said I thought they were great because she said I don't want to be sued. So I'm like, that's
Oh yes, I don't think that helped, and I don't think that helped. I think she needed real help, and I think she just never got it, or she got it, she didn't get it for long. And addiction's a hard thing to overcome, obviously. So it just sucks. There's no real good way around it, and I wish things ended better for her. And another person who I wish got to celebrate her career, and you know we can't do that right now with her there.
yeah. But you know what? The thing about it is, having said all that, well, let's not jump the gun. Right now, in
Yeah, I
January,
mean, yes.
where we're at, everything's going great for her. So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, this is a big year for her. It's a huge year for her.
here,
Uh,
so
so we'll see what happens.
we're gonna have plenty of time to talk about her fucking going nuts as we get
No,
closer to
we don't have to say it that way, but yes,
well, her having her like her life being ruined by
her
Stephanie.
life, yes,
What
just her
goes around?
life.
Let me tell you something. Some of these guys, they built their careers on the bodies of the people, like, and what goes around is going to come around one day. It is. So
Yeah, I mean, they had a couple. There's a lot of brushes that happened. Again, we'll get into it all later. Stephanie McMahon was not with the WWE for a while. Triple H was on the verge of death. I'm not saying this was karma or A or B, but everyone, the things happen to people.
Yeah, people are people, so why can't it be?
Exactly. That's Depeche Mode, I think. I don't know.
All right. So that's the show. That's the podcast. Kyle, you have any plugs?
Uh, if this is out before Saturday, Bell House 7:30. I'll be there with Iffy Wadiwe and Chris Black. Great show. Please come support us. The 16th, Brotaku at Eastville Comedy Club. We're playing Tekken 8. Tekken 8. So if you got any Tekken skills at all, sign up, play some Tekken. It'll be a fun time. The 18th, Character Select Comedy at the Stand. July 30th, Don't Tell Mama, 9:30. So it's if you want to stalk me, I'll be watching Spider-Man sometime between the 29th and the 31st. And yeah, that's it.
That's it, guys. And as for me, just you know, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. It's a big year ahead. Not to 2026. Come on,
Mhm.
1999. It's going to be a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. So
I
join
mean, we're
us.
gonna have a lot to talk about. I mean, they're already SummerSlam's not selling, so everyone's pulling out their report cards. I mean, like, what's going on? Like,
Oh,
was
they've
like a
been.
bad parent.
I think that's all.
Yeah.
Listen, Jesse Ventura returns.
Yes.
Yellow returns. China wins the IC belt. The higher power.
I mean, you're spoiling all of 1999 for them who have not, who's watching this blind and has never seen the pay-per-views in real time.
Jesse's back. Fuck. All right. What was the How does that work? It doesn't work. Okay.
There are
Well,
people like that. There was somebody who's complaining about Breaking Bad and not saying like how it's not a good show, and they're watching it like 20 years later on Twitter, and they let them
oh,
have it because it's Twitter. But
yeah. He's that guy was a buffoon. All right, guys. That's the podcast. We'll see you next week, but we'll be sold out. Thank you so much.
mhm.